What's up, fam? I'm Ronnette Rollins on Praise 106.1 in the midday, and I'm so excited to have today's guest. She is a singer, songwriter, a musician, and she has her first Stellar Award nomination. Please welcome to today's show, Jordan G. Welch. Hey, Jordan.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk about this first Stellar Award nomination. How did it feel hearing your name called for Praise and Worship Album of the Year, and what does that mean to you?
It shocked me. I didn't know what to expect going in. And so when I saw that I was officially nominated and I saw the others that are in the same category, I was floored and honored because this work it's a valuable piece of work to me. And I didn't go into the work for the Stellars or for any particular accolades. And so
Mhm.
it was encouraging to see and definitely an honor. And then, nerves settled in because it's like, whoa, what does this mean now? Because it's a big deal, and I'm
Right.
learning how big of a deal it is. So
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
it's it's a lot to take in, but I'm grateful.
And I'm sure the now what, comes up
Yeah.
after that. Like, now what do we
Yep.
do? Now, you said something
Yeah.
about that work. You said that you went into the recording of that project, not even thinking about all of that, and that it's a very important piece of work to you. Tell us why that is. What makes it so important to you?
Because at the time, my heart was, and it still is, honestly, burdened for making space for worship only. We have been putting worship with something else, and I just really felt like it was important for us to have a night where worship was enough. And so that
Mm.
mindset, that heart is what helped me to just forget about the live recording and instead of pushing it as that, just pushing it as a night of worship that happened to be recorded. So, my mindset about it wasn't even as production heavy as one would think, and
Mhm.
probably as much as I should have, just because I didn't want that to get in the way of what my honest heart's desire was. And that was just for us to simply worship, to not have any interruptions, to not have it compete with anything,
Mm.
just an opportunity for us to have that time without being coerced into any kind of church culture or something that says, okay, you can only do it for so long, and then we got to get
Mm.
to something else.
Right, right. Just literally sitting and basking in the presence of God.
Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
That's it.
Hmm.
Nothing else.
Now you have a tour coming up. It's called the Worship Culture Tour, and you describe it as a 2-day immersive worship experience. Tell us what attendees can expect.
Yeah, we start with what we know, and that's the worship and song. So Friday night, we'll have our time together musically, bringing songs from the album and whatever else the Lord leads. Then we're going to extend the thought of worship to be outside of music. So Saturday is going to be a workshop where we talk about worship in its entirety. Instead of making it so much about the music that we miss out on the posture, it's my heart that we both as congregants and worship teams and worship leaders take a step back from the song and look at what needs to happen in our hearts, in our homes, in our beliefs that would allow us to worship no matter where we are. I do believe that in the pandemic, that was the first point of reality where we put so much about being in the space about our
Hmm.
fellowship and about our faith and music came at a cost of that. We had to find a way to be creative. And
Hmm.
now, in the days that we're in, truth be told, if we only formulate our worship around when we're together in the sanctuary and what particular songs we sing and what particular worship leader we have, we are fragmenting it into something that is just only a portion. And that
Mm.
one portion, if it gets taken away from us, ultimately we would by then have nothing to worship with or worship about, which is not true, right? If
Hmm.
if I take
Hmm.
the song away, if the song ends, if I cannot hear, if something is impeding, someone's ability to be in a space of musical worship, are they exempt and disqualified? No, but we've set ourselves up to think that. So, in all of this, be it Friday night or Saturday morning, I want us all to walk away with the right understanding of what it takes to make worship a part of our everyday lives. Not just Sunday, not just in church, and not just in song.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Okay, so I have to remember I'm recording this interview because I'm ready to go in. Okay, so now you sharing this part about worship being a part of your everyday life. And I love
Hmm.
the fact that you are incorporating this into your conference. I agree with you. I think that's what is missing. Some people don't understand what that means. And so all they
Yeah.
have grown up seeing is, well, worship is when we sing a slow song. No, 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 no.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
because it hasn't been taught that way. So, can you share a moment where that truth comes to life off the stage? Worship.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was on my way to work one day and was having the time of my life listening to somebody's song. And I remember I was so engrossed in it and I was having such a beautiful time with the Lord and I got an attitude because I had to stop. I had to pause the music, turn my car off and go into a meeting at work, which in my mind had nothing to do with what was happening in my car. I
Rude,
was
right?
literally frustrated. Yeah, like, excuse me for a moment. I need my time with the Lord, but I also need these bills to be paid.
That
So
part. Mm-hmm.
I got upset and I said, "Man, Lord, I just wish I didn't have to stop." And he said, "Well, why do you?" And I clutched my pearls a little bit because I said, "Well, I can't bow my head and be in tears and just zone off in this
Mm-hmm.
conference room. I have to stop and work. I have to work with my colleagues. I have to do my job." And he said, "This is my point. You only have to stop the music, but you don't stop the surrender. You don't stop treating your neighbor
Mm.
kindly. You don't stop doing your job as if you're doing it unto me." That is all a part of our worship. And so that's when it clicked for me that, oh, we have to look at how we offer our bodies, not our voices, but our bodies
Mm.
as a living sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
which means
Mm-hmm.
whether it's in song or in someone's boardroom,
Yeah.
how I steward myself as the sacrifice is a part of my worship. And you're not going to be in a concert 24/7, but you will
Mm.
be in the presence of others where you are to represent Christ Himself. So that's when it was like, oh, oy vey,
Yeah.
gotta flip this so that I'm not
That is so good.
only adoring him and only exalting him with a song.
Right. He's showing you how to do it not only in ministry but also in the marketplace as well. That ooh,
Yes.
girl. Okay, so woo, we got to keep going. So tell us about this worship culture tour, and I'm gonna need you to set aside a ticket for myself. Um,
Yep.
so good. So good. Tell us about where we can find more information about the Worship Culture Tour 2 day experience. It's kicking off in DC. Is there any point that it will be in the Baltimore area for our Praise Baltimore listeners?
It is my prayer that my Baltimore family, I used to live out there, would
Oh,
join us in the DC region. It's not even really DC, so it's at the Gathering Place. And to
okay,
my
okay.
understanding, it's like right on the border between Baltimore and
Uh-huh.
Washington, D.C., which I
Okay.
said, okay, that works. So they can go to theworshipculturetour.com, see all of the details there. However, they wish to experience the weekend, there is a ticket for that. So if you just want to come Friday, there's a ticket for Friday. If you just want to come Saturday, there's a ticket for Saturday. If you want the whole weekend, there's a
Mm-hmm.
weekend pass, be it as an individual person or you and 10 of your friends. I do encourage all to be there for the full thing. It is one long conversation. It's not something that I would personally break up. But I
Mm-hmm.
understand, with schedules and just what people are able to do, choose what you will. And
Mm-hmm.
do not, trust me, do not think that it is just for singers and worship teams. And I really emphasize that, especially for Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
because there are conversations that I think both people need to have. And there's the conversations that happen within worship teams and musicians, and it's like they're only privy to that. And the
Mm-hmm.
congregation, they can't be a part of those conversations, but actually they should, because it's
Mm.
the disconnect that we have right now that's making it difficult for us to worship together without
Mm.
strife or having to pull and poke and prod and pump and prime and all these things, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a misunderstanding. And I think if you have the pew and the pulpit in the same room, then everybody would
Mm.
have a better understanding of how we are to all enter into his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise, and not just who's on the platform.
This is so good. This is so good. Cause baby, I'm real. I'm one of the ones that's like, don't yell at me. Okay. Don't you
I
yell at
know.
me. You you don't know my posture right now. Okay. Don't you yell at
Yes.
me. And I'm trying to go.
Yes. And I so want us to stop yelling. Like, I really wish I had to catch myself one time too, because it's like, well, why are you frustrated?
Right.
There
Why are
really
you
could
mad
be
at
a lack
me?
of understanding. Just
It
don't
is.
don't hurt the people. You
Right.
want them to join eventually, but they ain't gonna
Yes.
join if you bully them.
And
I know.
and the other thing that we have to understand is everybody worships differently and it looks
Yeah.
different on every person. So where
Yep.
some of us may be more outward in our emotions and things like that, I've seen people look completely stone faced and then after it's over, they're in tears like, oh my God. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes.
yeah, you are so right. Now give us your social so we can follow you on social media.
Yes, it's Jordan.G.Welch. That G is important. Otherwise, they will find a young man that's not me.
Uh-oh, G. It's
Whew.
all about the G. Jordan G.
It's the
Welch.
key. Yes, please.
Jordan G. Welch, ladies and gentlemen, on Praise 106.1.